Sometime you'll be able to answer me, and sometime you have to Google it too. So I know that I'm not too stupid.
Yeah, not too stupid. No, I think
It's trigger me.
it's interesting too, but
It's not trigger. What the heck? It's intrigue me.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
I feel like we're gonna get in trouble saying those things. The pharmacist's gonna come for us. When I'm with you, life is a little bit easier for me because you're white. Welcome back to Over Our Heads podcast. And last time we already talked about all the cons, was it? All the cons about living together, all the complaints about living together with a different culture. So today we're gonna talk about all the pros or good things that happen because two people from different culture live together.
Yeah, the last one wasn't supposed to be all negatives, so we have to justify ourselves.
Well, from the beginning I said it was an event and
Yeah,
complaints. So do you have your first point or should I?
You can go first.
Fire first. Okay, so my first point is language, the pros of living together. For sure, if you are learning another language and you want to get better, I think living together with another person that speak that language is really, really helpful. Sometimes I don't have to even Google a word mean, and I just ask you, like, hey, what does this mean? Or, and sometime you'll be able to answer me. Sometime you'll be able to answer me, and sometime you have to Google it too. So I know that I'm not too stupid.
Yeah, not too stupid. Just kidding. No, language is on my list too, especially living in your country and in your culture. It's very beneficial for me to live with somebody who speaks the local language. Whether that's talking to a Grab driver, the neighbors, the security guards, the landlord, the real estate agent, I don't know, literally anybody. And then, and if I were learning Vietnamese more, I would be able to practice it with you. But
yeah,
we speak mostly English at home.
Right.
Like 99.9999999.
Only when I'm tired of it and I try to not speak English anymore and you wouldn't cooperate with me.
Well, something like not cooperating, you just speak it really fast.
No.
And sometimes you'll use an accent.
Naturally.
No, and sometimes you'll use an accent intentionally so I don't understand it, or slang words, or
that is how I speak normally with my friends. And
no, but when
I was just tired of thinking about words.
But when you do it to me, it's when you're in those moods. It's not just normal conversation.
Anyhow, getting to practice and learn practice constantly speaking that language is really helpful, and I think that's just one of the biggest pros coming with living with you.
You're welcome.
Because with my job and work, sometimes I feel like I don't even speak my language at all a whole day I don't speak a word in Vietnamese, and I'm not complaining. Sometimes it's just getting me. Not complaining, but it's really changed the way I learn or practice, get better with language. Just constantly have to listen to you. I'm just kidding. Have to listen.
You don't even listen to me, so don't even. You ignore me.
Have to listen to English in this particular situation. It's really helpful for my language learning.
Yeah, we only watch English stuff.
Well, but that is without you. Even without you living here.
I know, but it's extra because I'm here.
No. Most of my stuff I watch is in English.
Music.
Yeah.
And you hear me talk to my family and the kids.
Yeah.
But I would say the same for your family too. It's interesting to listen to you guys talk and see what I can understand. I always try to figure out what you're talking about based on your emotion or your mom's emotion, and then the keywords that I pick up, and then I just try to guess. I create a narrative in my mind of what your life is like and what you're talking about. That's why I always ask you afterwards what you talked about. And I'm nosy.
Okay, your turn.
That was on my list, but I would say food.
Oh, that's on my list too.
Because if I didn't live with you, there's a lot of Vietnamese food I wouldn't have tried, or snacks, or like the weird habits I have of eating random things like rice paper. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't, if I didn't live with you or live with a Vietnamese person, I probably would have never tried half of those things or ordered half of those things, or you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So again, especially as a guest in a culture, there's only so much you can find on Google, or only so much you can get yourself to try looking at pictures on a menu. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like when you bring home food, or even just because we eat together all the time as we live together, it just has exposed me to a lot more food than the other Americans around me here in Vietnam.
Yeah, especially snacks and stuff like mm-hmm. that. You know, I know a lot of American around you would eat Vietnamese food and would, but it's not like on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And all the little snack that, you know, childhood snacks and stuff like that, or like homemade things.
I've gotten pretty good at homemade snacks.
So, just kidding. Yeah, so that's on my list too with food, like living with somebody would I mean, you don't cook, so I'm not talking about that, but she
doesn't cook either, just to clarify.
But at least I do snack. But again, to expose yourself to a different kind of food that I would not know, or just knowledge about food.
Yeah.
You know, from other country, what is it supposed to taste like, mm-hmm. or what is it not supposed
what's
to
good,
do?
what's
yeah,
not good.
Because a lot of things, like we try a lot of things from different cultures, especially food in this city, because this is a big city. You have a lot of cuisines and restaurants, but sometimes it's a Vietnamese, they have a Vietnamese touch on it, you know, like, or fusion, or so you make a mistake thinking that this is what it's supposed to mm-hmm. taste like, you know, like mm-hmm. Italian food or Mexican food.
Yes.
So our whole life, if people just live here and said that, oh, I've tried Mexican food, oh, I tried Italian food, sometimes you don't know, you're not sure that mm-hmm. it's true American or Mexican or whatever, you know, just like.
Yeah. And I would say living with you, like you go to the market, or like you go get street food. Mm-hmm. And I know anybody can go do that, but I wouldn't go do that probably ever if I just lived by myself. Or not as often, at least. Because I wouldn't know how to order it. I wouldn't even know what it is.
Well, I don't know if you can Google it.
I mean, I could, but I wouldn't. You know, like, it's just a convenience. But that's another thing on my list is, I'm just going to go again. You driving me places, specifically here. I mean, it helps that we work in the same place some of the time, but because I don't drive here, it's convenient that we are often going to the same place, because getting the driver's license here isn't necessarily hard, but it's an inconvenience, so it's one.
But that's the pros that only applicable to me living with me.
Well, it never said it had to be mutually applicable, so I'm giving a
No, I'm just talking about, like, if you live with somebody else, you know, that is Vietnamese, I don't think you can have that.
But sometimes, I mean, it's just the fact that you are able to drive here and I am not able to drive here.
Okay, because a lot of other people have to take Grab and
yeah. And I do, but I mean, I know the circumstances are more unique because we work together, but simply the fact that you can drive and I cannot drive can be a pro. What's your next one?
That was my next one, the food.
No, after food. Because I said food and then I gave another one. So I've given two.
Well, I was gonna still talk about food and treats.
Oh, you can go back to it.
Yeah. Like, I get exposed to a lot of other treats that, you know, maybe I wouldn't be able to know or taste if I don't live with you. Because I just don't know. Like, if I know I have a way to ask and order it and stuff like that. But if I don't know, you know, like, oh, these candies or other things, jerkies.
Yeah, but a lot of it's imported though.
Yeah, I know, but because I don't know about it. You have to know about it first to be able to go and look for it, right? Yeah. So.
But I mean, I'm just trying to think of things you have eaten, but I think it's all stuff we've had people bring back from the U.S., not stuff you can find here necessarily.
Right. So that's a pro.
So you have a free import service.
Free. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I'm not abusing it though.
No,
because
I know
we're pretty bad at that, and I'm not like. Most of the time, I'm just trying to.
But we offer. You're not abusing it. It's always offered.
Yeah, like little treats and stuff like that. I know a lot of people would love to have that.
I know
available
a lot of people would love to have it too.
But because I don't care much about things, because I don't really care much about imported stuff that cannot find here. Most of the thing imported that I want, we can find here. I mean, we have to pay it a little bit more, but yeah, I don't care much about asking people to bring stuff over. Only if it's equipment, and that's basically the only thing I can think of. My next thing is culture.
Oh my gosh, I think we have the same list.
Well, the pros, maybe it's just I think the pros the same, the complaint maybe is different, but the pros. I get to understand a lot more about the culture. Stop looking at my list. Can't look at it. This one is my favorite out of all the pros in my list. More so the language even, because I just love to understand things and how people do things and why people do things. So it's very interesting for me. And I'm really thankful for this pro because I get to understand a lot more about a culture. And I like it when I can just like ask you or the other friends too, American friend. I know they would love to explain it to me why you guys do certain thing and how you guys doing certain thing, what go through your heads when you do certain thing, or when you are in a different culture, like we do something to you, how do you feel and how do you process it? Why is it weird for us to do this to you? All kind of questions like that. And even some of the myths and and misunderstanding in culture, like we believe in something that is not completely true, by living with you or other people with different mindset or opinion, point of view, I can see the whole thing better and can decide for myself that which one is better to believe in.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. I was gonna say.
Okay, like, do you have any specific things, like situation?
Not really. I mean, we talked about most of it in the other. It's just complaints and misunderstandings and just discussions we've had in the past.
But do you think that you understand Vietnamese better because you live with me, or no?
Sometimes I forget you're Vietnamese, but it's nice to be able to ask about it at least.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you often ask me, why do people do this and think this? And
I mean, obviously, the more time this doesn't mean that you have to live with somebody, but the more time you spend with somebody, the more topics come up to ask questions about, like, so I just feel like I get to ask random stupid things, like, why do Vietnamese do this, or during school, did this ever happen to you, or do you guys eat lunch at school? What kind of lunch do you eat at school? You know what I mean? Like, just questions like that.
And I think it's very interesting. I don't know about you, but
no, I think
it's trigger me.
I think it's interesting too, but
it's not trigger. What the heck? It's intrigue me.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, and just like I was just thinking about something funny. Like, one of the things that we believe is if you wash your hair and you don't dry it right after, and you go to sleep, you're gonna have a headache.
A headache?
Yeah, like a very bad head. It's really bad for you.
Interesting.
You didn't know that?
No.
I thought we already talked about that.
No.
Like people, like Vietnamese, really scared of going to sleep with wet hair because they believe it's gonna get them sick.
Well, sick. I've heard about it.
We believe that it's gonna get us sick.
I've heard
and headaches.
Sick, but not.
But do you believe they will get us sick?
No. Not at all.
So I was a strong believer of this I just don't do it because people just said, no, you don't want to risk it, right? Because they said you're gonna get sick. But one time, me and other friend, we was at a hotel, I think, this years ago. We would travel together, and then I washed my hair before I went to bed, and then I tried to dry it. I put it up, and I was waiting for it to dry so I can go to sleep. You know, and she asked me like, why don't you go to sleep? I said, I have to wait for my hair to dry because it's gonna make you sick or you're gonna have a headache the next day, blah blah blah. And then she looking at me like I'm so stupid. I'm like, no, it's true. And then she said, Google it.
Of course.
And I was so believing it. I said, this must be true. Like, I even Google it. Like, I just Google it how to explain it even. But a lot of, like, the articles I found is always like, yeah, it's a myth that you gonna get sick. And I was like, yeah, my whole life is a lie.
Yeah, I always wonder how that kind of stuff starts.
I feel like maybe because we don't have aircon, first of all, so we have like fan blow on us when we go to sleep. Maybe that will.
I don't think so, because I think there are people who would say, not just Vietnamese, but probably even, especially maybe some Southern Americans, who would say that the air conditioning would make you sick if you're wet too. More so than a fan, because it's cold.
Then maybe it's true.
No, I don't. It's not.
Why? How is it
I've
not
never
true?
even really had a headache ever in my life, and I used to go to sleep with wet hair like every night as a kid and sometimes as an adult. Only reason I don't do that now is because I don't want my hair to get frizzy or like poofy or like curly at night. Like, you know, when you sleep on wet hair, it just like dries the way that you're sleeping on it. That's the only reason I don't do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that every Vietnamese believe that.
I'm sure we could.
I want to talk about myths.
Local legends.
Yeah, but culturally, I've learned a lot. I mean, I'm not a person that, I'm gonna just believe you because you are American and this is how you do it. I'm not that person.
You should be. I'm just kidding.
So I always like to listen to your point of view and argue it sometime, even, you know, to see if what speaking truth or you guys. But most of the time I find myself like taking your culture stuff or habit or things that is different than us because it's pretty logical.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of something. I know we have things like that, but I don't think we have as many, and I can't think of any time it's come up where
You have to take our way.
Yeah, like I can't think of something like that I've said or done or that you've said or done where I'm like, oh no, don't do that. You're gonna get sick or ew or whatever the thing is, and you've been like, what? I can't think of one time. Can you?
No. Well. Okay, so in this topic, another thing is taking medicine. Like, I know you guys don't, like in America, you cannot just go to the pharmacy and just buy a bunch of medicine. You have to be,
prescribed.
You have to prescribe that and have a doctor prescribe to be able to go to get medicine. But here it's different. Even just the pharmacist might as well be your doctor. You go to the pharmacy and say that, oh, I have the symptom, blah, 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 and then they give you a bunch of medicine. But in America, you can't do that, so you do more research on medicine than us. Because it's so easy for us to access, we don't even think about it. We trust completely, 100%, the pharmacist. But I know this is also a business. They try to sell you medicine, things that maybe not even necessary with what your symptom would need or treat or stuff like that. But we don't question. Like in this culture, we don't question a lot of things, and we don't typically research that much. But a lot of time when I bring medicine home, and it's a bunch of medicine, I don't like to take medicine. But you would like look at what kind of medicine is that and what it does to you, and you was like
and how to properly take it,
yeah,
and how many days you should be taking it.
You'll be like, no, you don't need this, you only take this. And at first I was like, this is the doctor giving you. Are you trying to say that they don't know what they're doing?
Yes, I am.
But then they're not doctor, first of all. Second of all, yes, they're trying to sell you a lot of things. So now, because of that, I'm just trying to say, because of that, it's changed the habit of me taking medicine a lot. Like now when I go get medicine, I still let them give me whatever they want. And then I go home and look at it to see if I should take as much. This is not disclaimer, don't do this. I don't want to be responsible for anybody that doesn't listen to their doctor or have symptom and go to the pharmacy, buy medicine and don't do it.
No, it's concerning.
But it's for me, it's changed my habit a little bit, and it's get me thinking more and research more before I take medicine. And also I have friends that work as a pharmacist, friends that is doing those kind of job, and when I talk to them, it's the same thing. Like they know a lot of medicine. It's just the same medicine with different brand or those kind of thing. It doesn't have to be exactly what you take in.
They give you like 4 things for one runny nose. You know what I mean? Like when your symptom is actually something else, and one medicine would probably treat it. Or what is concerning to me, and the reason why I've been hyper aware of it, is because I've seen you get antibiotics for like 1 or 2 or 3 days, and most antibiotics, specifically the ones you were given, if you research it, are supposed to be 7 to 14, at least 7 days of being on, or whatever it was. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but that's bad for you. It's so bad for you. And a lot of the times that doesn't even clear up an infection. So that's why doctors are supposed to prescribe it so that you can use it correctly. But that doesn't mean people do use it correctly. Like Americans don't finish their antibiotics and stuff either, but sometimes. But I'm just saying that also, you guys put a lot of trust in your pharmacist, but we put a lot of trust in our doctors. There are a lot of like once you get prescribed something, people don't necessarily always Google everything. Mm-hmm. Maybe, but they don't. If a doctor prescribes it, we don't question it as much. But if we get it over the counter, we might look up what to go buy at the store. Yeah. But yeah, it's not a pharmacist handing it to us, especially in the way it's done here. So it just concerned me when you would come home with bags of pills and you didn't even know what they were or what they were for.
Why would we need to know? Because
especially for you, because you hate taking medicine.
Yeah,
so it was
the only thing that made me do it, because I hate taking medicine. So I don't want to take a bunch of medicine. I just want to take thing that necessary for me. So that's why I started to do it. But if taking medicine just easy for me, I don't think I would ever concern that. I would completely trust whatever they give me. I feel like we're gonna get in trouble saying those things. The pharmacist's gonna come for us. But
it's cheap. But medicine's cheap here. That's a pro
right
to it. And that's where language comes in handy. Because if I go to the pharmacy I need Belle
to
tell them my problems. I don't trust that they're gonna like understand, like just the language barrier. So I'm trying to get back on track here because we got off of our topic.
I don't think so. We're talking about myths and stuff.
No, but that's not what we're supposed to be talking about. We're supposed to be talking about pros
of living together.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my next thing, the culture thing. So this thing is just little things that I think is a pro for me, especially is I like living with you. I get to access to other things that
Disney Plus, Hulu, Peacock, HBO Max,
that maybe other Vietnamese wouldn't get to access. And I love it. Because they get to watch I mean, I would pay for it if we can buy those, we can have those accounts in Vietnam, or they let you do it just like Netflix. I pay for Netflix. I pay for our Netflix. Yeah, I don't mind paying. I don't mind paying at all. But because we cannot get it in Vietnam.
Yeah, no one is saying you don't want to pay for it. Literally, no one is saying that.
But the way you said it, you're like, yeah.
No, I was just listing all of them.
Disney Plus. Yeah, but it's a privilege to get to watch those things that not a lot of Vietnamese here would be able to, unless they, well, movies here is a whole other topic, because they can just like pirate it on the internet. But I don't like that. I don't like pirate things.
I thought of another pro, but it's related to food.
Okay.
That your mom sends us those chilies that she makes.
Yeah, I got her hooked on pickled chili.
Pickled chilies.
Is it good?
You think they're pickled? You'd call that pickling?
I don't know. Canning?
It's not cans, though.
What is it then?
I don't know.
What do you call that?
I don't know. I'd have to Google it. It's just salt and garlic.
Yeah. What's pickle?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's vinegar in it.
Well, yeah. So only with vinegar you would cause pickle.
I think so. I mean, I could
then
be
without
wrong.
vinegar, it's called canning.
But it's not canned. Cans are usually sealed and preserved.
It is sealed.
No,
it
they're
has
not.
to be sealed
It's
for a couple of days.
Airtight.
Yeah.
Like boiled to get the lid on.
No,
That's canning. That a twisted lid on is not the same, to my knowledge. I mean, maybe, but I don't even know. Maybe it. You can probably just say canned, but I.
So what
I don't
is
know.
other type of?
I don't know.
Preserve.
I don't know.
Okay, preserve. Chili.
But that doesn't sound good. What do you call it in Vietnamese?
Ớt ngâm. It's mean.
Fermented.
No, it's mean. It's mean. Soaked chili.
Oh.
Soaked for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know what I would classify that as.
Yeah, because you guys don't have a lot of way to preserve things. We have so many ways to preserve things.
We do.
Like
we just
what?
don't do it often anymore.
Okay, list it.
What do you mean by ways to preserve things?
We preserve with salt. That's why we have
Yes,
nước mắm.
we've done.
So what is that called? Preserve with salt.
Preserving.
Okay, then that preserving chili.
Or dry. I don't know the names.
No,
but I'm just saying, like, I know America's new, but the people who started America had to do this kind of stuff. And some of those traditions have carried on in certain ways from certain cultures, especially from like Scandinavia and stuff. They do a lot of preserving fish with salt and stuff. Like people in my area do that all the time. It's called lutefisk.
Okay.
It even has, but it's not a way. It's a dish. It's a dish.
Oh.
Lutefisk. But yeah, I mean, we do lots of different kinds of canning. Like it just depends on what you're canning. And you can do freeze drying, flat, like there's like just so many, there's lots of different ways to preserve things, drying things or dehydrating things. It's the same thing as drying, but
see, you don't have so many ways you have to say it twice.
No, I was just thinking of, I thought of like laying something out to dry, but we also have machines that are dehydrators, so I thought like the jerky and stuff that we make and sausages and fruits and vegetables that we either can or sometimes they dry them or we cure the meat. So that's what the salt thing is, curing.
Curing, yeah. Well, I guess we're curing our chili.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Cured chili. So she hooked on that.
It still sounds lame, though. There has to be a different...
Well, I don't know. You find it. You Google it and tell me later. So, I think this could be the last thing in the pro of living together is your white privilege.
I'm surprised you said that.
Your white privilege that activate in this culture that make me have some other benefit when I with you, but also just make me so mad.
Yeah, it makes me mad too. I don't like it. I mean, there's been a few small, insignificant times it's come in handy. Like getting into a restroom or, like at a
restroom?
Yeah, like a toilet that's only for like hotel customers or something that.
Yeah.
But like insignificant things like that, but it really rubs me the wrong way when I see it happen other times.
And by that, I mean, so whenever I'm by myself and I have to go to like some friend's house or apartments, and a lot of my friends live in like high secured apartment, and if I'm just by myself, a Vietnamese, driving my motorbike to trying to get into those, the security wouldn't often try to stop me and wouldn't let me in and try to make it very difficult for me to even go in there, even though my friends live there and I just come to visit my friend. I know they do their job.
And sometimes when you've been there every day.
Right.
They still treat you like that.
Treating me like I'm trying to sneak in or I'm some kind of criminal trying to go sneak around stealing their stuff. I understand they're doing their job. That's why it's high.
Yeah, I mean, they should do that with everybody.
And yes, and I respect that. But the thing that got me mad is whenever I'm with a white person, you and other of my other friends, if I'm with a white person, they would never ever question me.
Like the backpack
in
the mall.
But I'm just talking about this part now. Like I just
now I'm
can
triggered.
freely
triggered.
I just can freely walked in. They didn't even check me. Sometimes I didn't have to give my ID card or whatever. Like they treat white people in those situations completely different than their own people. So that's what made me mad.
Yeah.
But yes, that's also sometimes a pro because when I'm with you, I don't have to hassle all of.
It's just convenient.
Yeah, it's a little bit more convenient. But I don't really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like I don't
it's
really like it.
It's not worth the underlying.
Yeah, but it's just because I'm often with foreigners or sometimes I'm by myself, and so I can easily distinguish between those two situations very clearly because a lot of time I go to my friend's house by myself with you often back and forth like that, so I can see. And also like at the mall, like security and stuff like that. Kayla just remind me about another incident, not an incident, but just I mean
it was an incident.
That we went to the mall, and I know a lot of time when I have my little backpack always with me, and when we walk to a place we have to like seal it
Zip
tied it, yeah, to get in before. So I stand there for him to zip tie it. But when he doing that, another foreigner walked in with a very big backpack and just walked right in with that. And then the security look at him and smile and just let him in. And I was standing right there, and like, I pointed out to him, I said, how about that guy? Why is he not zip tying? Why are you not zip tying his bag? And then he just smiled at me. I'm like, so I'm more likely to steal your stuff because I'm your people, Vietnamese. And that white person wouldn't do that because, you know, those things happen a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I carry a backpack too, and I very rarely ever get stopped.
Yeah.
Certain stores I do, but I can see that they are clearly doing it to everybody. Like some stores are very, very strict, which is fine. But if you're gonna do it, you have to do it to everybody.
Right. Yeah. So
it bothers me too. There's times where if Belle gives me her backpack when we walk into that same store, I think, and I'll never get stopped to put it on or to close it ever.
Right. And sometimes I just want a quick thing, you know. So a lot, like, there's time that I send her into the store, get me something, and I just stand outside because I don't want to just take time for them to zip tie me, and then when I pay, I have to run to them to cut it so I can take out my wallet to pay, you know. So I just might as well stand outside. It took us less time to do that, so it's a little bit frustrated how people would treat us differently.
Or at the resort that one time.
Yeah, the story goes on. I have so many stories that they just, and the amount of it happen just blows my mind.
Yeah, even here in our apartment complex.
Do I look like I'm gonna do something bad? Maybe it's just me. Maybe
I don't even think you look Vietnamese, so I don't know why.
Yeah, maybe I look like I bring trouble. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with white and Vietnamese. It's just me. I don't know. But yeah, so it's happened so many times. So your white privilege, when I'm with you, I get to have that. I don't like to use it. I don't see a reason why we have to use it, but sometimes it's just more convenient.
I wouldn't say we use it. I just think it happens.
Yeah.
It's not like we intentionally... Well, I mean, sometimes with the backpacks, but...
But yeah, when I'm with you, life is a little bit easier for me. Because you're white. I don't like it. But it's the truth. Okay. Really? A lot of our pros today come with a complaint too. So I don't know if
optimistic people.
Yeah. So I don't know if
There's no pro to living with Belle.
There's no pro to living with Kayla, I guess. So yeah, there's all the pros. Last time it was all the cons. Today we bring you a different perspective. But yeah, if you want to live together from different culture, you should consider all this. And let us know if you have experienced some other things and other pros and cons of living together.
Or a myth you want discussed. It's not a myth. What is it called?
Believe.
Oh man, I can't think of the word. A wife's tale. Old wives' tale.
Oh, well, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Then yes, comment. So thank you for listening to today's episode. And if you have any other experience of living together like this, please let us know. We'll read it and maybe we'll discuss it on the next one. So Thank you for listening.